Welcome back to Weekly Retro Stuff, where we cover a brief highlight of cool things going on in the retro communities across the internet, with new episodes coming out on Fridays. This is episode 46. But more than that, this episode marks 1 year of creating YouTube content. 1 year. That's kind of crazy. I just was thinking about this the other day. July 29th, 2022 was when I released my very first YouTube video. And it was about a Kirby glitch that was discovered at the time. And now we're on episode 46, a year later. That's crazy to me. And I just want to say thank you to everybody who's been supporting me along the way. Without you, this wouldn't be the same. I'd still be having fun, but not nearly as much fun. So thank you to everybody who's been supporting the videos, liking them, watching them, sharing them, whatever it is you're doing. I appreciate all the love and support. I'm going to continue trying new things. I'm sure you've noticed along the way that things have adapted and evolved and changed over time. And that's just kind of part of the process. I come up with these crazy ideas sometimes late at night and I write them down and I just want to try them and see how they work out. This week is no different. We're trying something a little new. Why not? In the end, I'd like to be able to implement all of these things in different ways and different segments and, just take all the tools that I've learned along this journey and kind of land in a place that is great for everybody. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. I'm still having a fun time. So let's jump into this week's episode because there's a lot to cover. Eradicated Zombie has been consistently lowering their time in Streets of Rage on the Sega Genesis. Running the Atom Normal % category, they just got another huge PB. Their first submitted time to SRC was on July 6, 2023, with a time of 38 minutes and 18 seconds. And on July 27th, they shaved off another 2 full minutes when this happened.
Yeah, easy game. It's an easy game. 33.58. Wow. Sub 34, minus 6.26 seconds. I don't know, Kendo. You know the math. I know. Thank you very much for the GGs. I appreciate it.
Finishing with a time of 33.52, they are now in 6th place on the leaderboard. Let's check out a segment from their first submitted time compared to their most recent PB. You can clearly see they're starting to get more comfortable with not just overall movement, but also their positioning and enemy spawns. They've had some huge improvements over the last month, and I hope they continue to push their time down. Could we see Eradicated Zombie on the podium soon? After taking the world record in Haunted Halloween 86 on the NES with a time of 17:34, Welsish knew they weren't done yet, so they continued to grind. And just 16 days later, on July 27th, 2023, they got a huge PB.
There it is. Oh, man.
Finishing with a time of 17 minutes and 20 seconds and improving their world record by 14 seconds. During their grind, they've also taken the time to get the world record in the 2018 version of the game with a 17 minute and 42 second time. Their sum of best is all the way down to a 16:55, and they're still pushing for PBs. I'm betting they're going to continue at least until they achieve a sub 17 minute time. But they're also taking breaks to tend to their gas station in a game called Gas Station Simulator.
There's a whale. Oh my God. I don't care. I'm buying it.
Wells-ish. Zarkonis has been destroying games lately. He managed to lower his fish time all the way down to a 50-second and 917 millisecond time.
Oh!
He speculates that the time could be as low as a sub 50-second time, but reports being done with the game for now. He then moved on to Dudes with Attitude, which is an unlicensed puzzle game that released in 1990 on the NES, which he then proceeded to take the world record in all 3 current categories for the game. In the 25% category, he ended with a time of 2 minutes and 49 seconds. In the 50% category, he had a time of 7 minutes and 48 seconds. In the 100% category, he got a 41 minute and 35 second time.
We did it! Yes! That's it. Let's go. Game over. All done. No more. I don't even want to play it anymore. That's perfect.
So what game do you think Zarkonis should go for the world record in next? And now it's time for a new segment I'm calling What the F*** Game? Where we share your clips of things happening in games that clearly should not be happening. This week, we have a clip from 40 Watt Range playing Super Smash TV on the Super Nintendo.
Anytime you went over any kind of tiny bump or hole, like pothole in the road, what the f*** is happening there? What the f*** was that? What the f was that? Did anybody just see what happened? Dude, I've played this game since I was 12 years old. I've been speedrunning it for 5 years. I've never seen that.
An incredible speedrunner and streamer is putting on an event called Nest Day. This event starts Sunday, August 6th at 11 a.m. Eastern Time and is packed full of great games and runners, starting with Chill Dragoon running both Superman and Yo Noid on the NES, and continuing throughout the day there will be a Batman race between Ryan and Stans, a Monster Party race featuring Joey Mittens versus Burst Arrow, Hello Kitty no Hanabatake being ran by Edo87, Jurassic Park being played by Beta Complainer, and that's not all, there's tons of other games and runners. The event ends with Yogi the Monk running Defender of the Crown, Takeshi's Challenge, and Final Fantasy III. So head on over to Junkyard Dave's Twitch channel linked in the description. It's not often we get to cover original Game Boy stuff. Mega Man 2 on the Game Boy curates a small sampling of what can be found on the NES version. A runner who goes by Meech Tree has been lowering their time in the game. On July 31st, 2023, all that hard work paid off.
Yes. Oh, wow. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
They finished with a time of 18 minutes and 47 seconds, which put them into third place on the podium and only 2 seconds away from taking second. With 34 seconds currently separating first and second place, I would love to see them keep pushing their time down. Most of us know about Edo87 by now, but in case you don't, he's a super skilled speedrunner and an all-around chill human. Recently, he purchased a beautiful NES arcade stick and got to work on Ninja Gaiden on the NES. Using the arcade stick, he managed to get 3 new world records in the NES Advantage categories for the game. In the low percent category, he got a 1330. In Pacifist, he finished with a time of 1532. And he got the first ever Ninja licensed time using an arcade stick with a time of 12 minutes and 26 seconds.
Yes! And license, man. Yeah, man, we got license.
And if that's not enough, he also got a new world record in Street Fighter Zero. Edo is a world record machine, so go show him some love on Twitch.
Yeah, I hit it. I bring it back.
Tetsuo has set out to save Gotham City in one of the greatest games ever made for the NES. Batman the video game released in the US February 13th, 1990. Despite being compared to Ninja Gaiden, it only visually shares similarities and plays way differently. Tetsuo is getting faster every day, and in their most recent PB, they got a sub 13 minute time of 12 minutes and 58 seconds. This is a huge improvement over their previous PB, and I know they're going to keep lowering their time. Head to their Twitch channel and be witness as they continue to clean up those filthy Gotham streets. And as a bonus, you can jam out to those amazing tunes by Sunsoft.
Always mess up my splits, dude.
Professor Retro has done it again. On July 31st, 2023, he managed to get his very first sub 7 minute run in Maniac Mansion on the NES. Shortly afterward, he managed to pull through and improve that time by another 4 seconds. His current PB now sits at a 6 minute and 52 second time, which moves him up to 6th place on the SRC leaderboard.
I don't know what the time is. We'll find out. But we finished the run.
He forgot to start his splits for this run,
Oh, I didn't even start my timer.
but sometimes that works out for the best because you don't notice when you're ahead of your PB.
We'll just assume we're doing well.
He's been running the game for less than a month, so I'm guessing he may continue pushing his time down. But whatever he chooses to do, I know he'll be amazing at it. Our friend Combustible Dan has been running Popful Mail on the Sega CD. This is a side-scrolling platform game with RPG elements. You start the game as a character named Mail, who is a female elf bounty hunter. But as you play through the game, you can eventually play as Tat and Gaw. Each character has different abilities and attributes, and you can switch between them on the fly. This is a pretty long speedrun, with the previous world record sitting at 4 hours and 59 minutes. But Combustible Dan has been putting in some work, and their time is now all the way down to 2 hours and 20 minutes.
220.
We did it! Sub 3! We're sub 2.5 hours. Man, we knocked an hour. We knocked an hour off of our last run.
They state that a sub 2-hour time is possible.
I think you can get this under 2 hours.
Dan also does glass blowing streams that are super cool to hang out in. You should definitely go check him out. Searching for a new speedrun to learn, I left my fate to chat suggestions. And after a couple of rounds of voting, the game I'm currently learning is Battletoads. This is a game I've always wanted to learn to beat. I'm currently on day 3 of learning, and I know this isn't going to be an easy task, but most things worth doing are difficult, so I'm super excited to be on this journey. Day 1, I focused entirely on learning the bike skip glitch that allows you to skip the turbo tunnel. This skip saves you 2 full minutes. Day 2 was dedicated to trying to iron out some consistency around the glitch, and begin learning Stage 4, Arctic Caverns. On day 3, I continued trying to build consistency around the bike skip, and learned more of Stage 4, 6, and 7. Stage 6 is pretty short and straightforward, since there's another warp you can take. Stage 7 has some tough things thrown in, with springs feeling a bit weird to get used to, and those fart nipple things that kill you in one hit. No! The Stage 7 boss is a bit tough and killed me a ton of times, but I'm slowly learning to beat him consistently. Next steps will be to learn Stage 8, but the most important step of all is continuing to have a fun time. As a kid, we would go and take care of some potbelly pigs that belonged to a friend of my dad's. When we would stay at their house, I could play their NES games, and one game they had was Wolverine. I've always loved Wolverine as a character, but the game was super tough for me. A streamer and runner named RayoTNJ has been running the game, and on July 28th, 2023, this happened. Finishing with a time of 6 minutes and 59 seconds, they hit their goal and can now move on from the game. That is, if they choose to. I'm curious what they're going to do next. Will they keep pushing or play something new? I'm sure many of you have heard of one of the latest speedrun crazes. The game is called Only Up and has you traversing crazy obstacles in a journey upward to victory. 2 crazy individuals who go as Kaze and the Legend of Xena decided to recreate this concept for the Nintendo 64, and they're calling it Only Up 64. You play as Mario from Super Mario 64, and they use tons of different assets from Nintendo 64 games to build this insane level. It can even be played on original hardware with an EverDrive. So if you're feeling crazy, go give it a shot. The link is in the description. Last but surely not least, there's a streamer and runner who goes by BroodVX who has a fun new idea for their YouTube channel. They're doing speedrun reviews. They learn a speedrun and get good enough at the game to be in the top 50% of the runners on SRC. Then they do a breakdown video of the things required to learn the run, showing a comparison of progress from day 1 to where they finish, alongside the current world record. At the end of the video, they give a review with scoring for different things like input complexity, error penalty, and more. If you're considering speedrunning or just like to know what's involved in particular runs, I recommend checking this out. He's only released one so far, and that game is Streets of Rage 2. But the format is great, and I look forward to what game is next. And that's what we got for you this week. This is easily the most things I've tried to cover in one video. I just thought it'd be fun to show as many neat things as I possibly could. I'm looking forward to people submitting their clips. You can do so to weeklyretro@gmail.com. That's the one. Submit your clips, videos, whatever it is. I'd love to cover them. And if you like this format where I get to show more things, let me know. I enjoyed it. There's so many things happening that I feel bad when I can't cover everything. Everything? What are words? I feel bad when I can't cover everything. And this was my best attempt to cover as many things as possible. I know I still missed things. There's still things like Rezul has been doing a challenge with a bunch of different Ninja Gaiden runners to see who is the next person to get a sub 12 minute and 30 second time in the low percent category. There's a bunch of awesome runners that are involved. Go check out Rezul's YouTube channel. I'll post it in the description. I should have covered it. I didn't, an oversight, but that's just, it happens. There's so many things. This week we covered 15 things, 15, 14, I don't know. It was a lot. But yeah, I appreciate all the support. I can't believe that we've done a year of videos. I'm looking forward to another year. Yeah, and just seeing where this plays out. That was a lot of ums, but I'm really looking forward to just how this plays out. And I appreciate everybody who's interacting with this, who's sharing your stuff, who sends me stories to cover, who reaches out with their things to cover. Please send me your things. I'd love to cover it. But yeah, I'm having a fun time. And as always, the one thing you can't get back is your time. So thank you for spending your time with me, but also take some time for yourself. My name is Stuff is Stuff, and this has been episode 46 of Weekly Retro Stuff.